What is modernism? Modernism is a cultural movement that generally includes the progressive art and architecture, music, literature, and art design, which emerged in the decades before 1914. It was a movement of artists and designers who rebelled against late 19th century academic and historicist traditions, and embraced the new economic, social and political aspects of the emerging modern world. Some divide the 20th century into modern and postmodern periods, whereas others see them as two parts of the same larger period. This video will focus on the movement that grew out the late 19th century and early 20th century. Art's modern styles is the revolutionary ideas and styles in art, architecture and literature that developed the early 20th century as a reaction to traditional forms. A short definition of modernism is a character or quality of thought, expression or technique, a style of movement in the arts that aims to break with classical and traditional forms. What is postmodernism? It's a general and wide-ranging term which is applied to literature, art, philosophy, architecture, fiction, and cultural literary criticism, among others. Postmodernism is largely a reaction to the assumed certainty of scientific or objective efforts to explain reality. In essence, it stems from a recognition that reality is not simply mirrored in human understanding of it, but rather is constructed as the mind tries to understand its own particular and personal reality. For this reason, postmodernism is highly sceptical of explanations which claim to be varied for all groups, cultures, traditions or races, and instead focuses on the relative truth of each person. In the postmodern understanding, interpretation is everything. Reality only comes into being through our interpretations of what the world means to us individually. A simple definition of postmodernism is the recycling of old. So, for example, Michelangelo was inventing new ways of sculpting marble. No one ever had the skills to create a perfect replica of the human figure. The original Roman statues just looked like blobs with small heads and massive bodies. But when Michelangelo created the statue of David years later, he recreated it to look perfect proportionally, and that is postmodernism, because Michelangelo invented a new way of recreating something that was produced years before.